The Los Angeles Coliseum, where tonight the USC Trojans and the Nebraska Cornhuskers meet for the first time in 36 years.
733 victories.
Make that 796.
3 Heisman Trophy winners.
7 and counting.
5 national championships.
How about 11?
Legendary coaches.
Legendary teams.
It's a legacy that's tough to live up to.
But that's why we play here.
The Trojans, the Cornhuskers. So much more than the numbers. Much more than mere facts. Wear their uniforms and you're a symbol, signifying generations of excellence. They've each claimed long stretches of time in which they dominated the sport, redefining the way it's played, rewriting its history. For some time now, they've admired each other from afar. They get reacquainted in prime time tonight. Nebraska USC on Saturday Night Football. We welcome you to Saturday Night Football, where Separation Saturday continues. The number 19 Nebraska Cornhuskers take on the number 4 USC Trojans. It's Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines. Good evening, everybody, and welcome along with Kirk Herbstreit and the coach, Bob Davie. I'm Brent Musburger. Pleasure to be with you. You know, USC lost just so much firepower from last year's great team, but yet, Kirk, here they are with a great young quarterback, and they just reload.
Yeah, you're right. You think about losing Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, Lindale White, so much offensive firepower, but they've just reloaded. Pete Carroll does an excellent job of recruiting. John David Booty is going to have a chance to show America that this USC offense is going to continue to move forward. He's a very confident and capable quarterback, and he's got a ton of skill around him.
Now, Coach, Nebraska's got to change points with him. They got to go up and down the field now.
Well, Brent, 3 years ago when Bill Callahan came from the NFL, he brought the West Coast offense with him. It's taken some time, but they are now comfortable in the scheme. The biggest reason, quarterback Zac Taylor is the perfect fit for this offense. I think he's the best quarterback in the Big 12. He'll get a chance to prove that tonight.
The USC Trojans pour onto the field here in the Los Angeles Coliseum. The last time they lost a game here, September 29th, 2001. That is 27 home games ago under Pete Carroll, who has not lost a home game since his first season. USC and Pete Carroll won the toss. They have deferred. So Nebraska will begin on offense behind Bill Callahan. 3 years ago, brought the West Coast offense after coaching the Oakland Raiders, leading them to a Super Bowl where he was beaten by Tampa Bay, and then finishing his NFL career with the Raiders after his second season and moving on to Nebraska. We have about 15 to 20,000 Nebraska fans in the stands. Troy Van Blarcom will kick it off. Blarcom nailed 9 of his 10 kickoffs in the opener against Arkansas into the end zone. He has a whale of a leg. Last year, 110 kickoffs and 31 touchbacks. Can he get one to start this? You bet. Coming out of the 20-yard line. And Coach Davie, here comes Zac Taylor, the senior who once was at Wake Forest, then went to a JC, and now operates the controls of this West Coast offense.
Well, Brent, Zac Taylor started last year, his first year in the program. He got beat up. He got sacked 38 times. But within that 38 sacks, he earned the respect of his teammates and the coaches. Now he has total control of this offense.
If they give Zac Taylor time, Coach, he has the ability and the skill around him to come after a banged-up USC secondary, but they've got to give him time.
On first down, the runner from North Hollywood, Marlon Lucky, and tripped up by the right side. Now the City, Nebraska offense. And we have talked about Zac Taylor, and we have mentioned Lucky. It should be pointed out that USC got in a little bit late, but they did recruit him. But the youngster been very happy when he signed on with the Cornhuskers, Lincoln, Nebraska. The offensive line has been a work in progress the last 2 years, learning how to pass block rather than simply plow straight ahead for the option offense. Here's Lucky again, and this time a gaping hole puts him in third and short. The USC defense And folks, there are some injuries we want to talk about here. A freshman, Taylor Mays, true freshman, replaces Josh Pinkert, who's out for the year at free safety. The strength here overall is the linebackers. Cedric Ellis is out, had his knee scoped. They'll miss him on the nose. Fili Moala in there. Brandon Jackson is now the running back. A single back, 3rd and 2 for the Huskers. Now they empty. Firing incomplete. Nebraska forced to punt on its first series.
Important series there for USC, because when you're a big underdog against a team that is as talented as USC and has such a great track record, boy, they needed to try to pick up some confidence to get themselves to believe that they can play with the Trojans.
Desmond Reed, the running backs here at USC, is back deep to field Dan Titchener's punt. Punter from Cheyenne, Wyoming. And it hit a Nebraska player's foot, and I don't think it was, but hold on, because perhaps I saw it incorrectly. I don't think it hit a Trojan foot, but there was definitely contact with the ball, and Nebraska is claiming that, yes, it did. No, it did not. And let's take a look here just to make sure.
Boy, very, very close here. But boy, looks like
that really is close.
It is very close. Corner Kerry Harris back there trying to pick up a block.
Here comes the Trojan offense.
Hi, I'm Matt Leinart. I would like to introduce you to the newest starting quarterback at USC, the man, John David Booty.
John David Booty's had to wait 4 years to have his opportunity to become the starting quarterback at USC. He had a great start at Arkansas on the road. First time as a starting quarterback in the Coliseum. This is his team and his offense.
Now they're using Emmanuel Moody, the freshman running back, for this special opening play. Play fake, roll hard to the right, throw in underneath, and they complete it to Chris McFoy, the senior wideout. City offensive line, and you will see tonight one of the fine wide receivers in the country, Wayne Jarrett, a junior in what you would figure would be his last season here. He has NFL written all over. He's coming off a subpar week for him, caught only 7 balls but only 35 yards against Arkansas, so the coach is trying to fire him up a little bit this week. And now Washington, the veteran, is in at running back. And on his first 2 plays, there is Jarrett down the near side, number 8. So quickly, the rangy one is into the offense.
Steve Sarkisian, one of the things he wants to do in this game is he wants to spread Nebraska's defense out and make them defend in space. Utilize the great athletic ability and speed of USC's offense in the first 2 plays. A lot of movement and just getting them outside. And when, Coach, you know, when you spread a defense to the outside, next thing you know, you try to go vertically because they're so concerned at getting to the boundaries.
Chauncey Washington stays in at running back. C.J. Gable was coming in, and you can see the bunch of wideouts to the right as John David is putting it up. Over the top, incomplete, trying to hit the running back who had to circle out. And our Nebraska defense, strong up front, but after that there's big question marks, especially Andre Jones and the corners, who are under fire here early. Jones has to walk the walk tonight because earlier he guaranteed a win against the Trojans. So Andre Jones, his first year, number 25. Now C.J. Gable is in at running back. 2nd and 10 for John David and the Trojans. And here's the freshman, another one of the just very talented freshmen.
Brent, let's get back to that point you made about Andre Jones. Andre Jones played in junior college last year. Not much media attention when you play in junior college. He came out. Here's the quote. We'll let the people at home read it. I don't think it was all that critical, but SC definitely tried to use it. I think it helps that he did it early in the week. SC's had a lot of other issues since that was a key issue early in the week.
Gave those of us in the media something to chew on. Gave them game day fellas a headline. There's the head up, and they use Ryan Powdrell, and ball down. Powdrell grabbing the back of his right leg, ball down on the play. Chauncey Washington, the junior from Torrance, is the running back. Motion Smith. John David booting right, a little bit short of that first down marker. It'll depend on that spot, and he did not get it. He did not get it. Ball goes over. Steve Smith was not beyond the line.
You're going to see the pressure by Barry Cryer right up the middle right there. And Steve Smith, who came across in motion, obviously short of that yellow line. Big stop for the Cornhuskers.
When we come back, it'll be Zac Taylor and the Cornhusker passing offense. 90,000 plus in the Coliseum. As Kenny Wilson, he has ability. JC running back in, gets the handoff, looks for daylight. Strong first down. Bob, are you surprised that Coach Callahan is trying to establish the run here early and not opening it up?
Brent, I think they have to. You look back to last season, Nebraska ended up 107th out of 117 teams in rushing offense. They had to throw the football too much last year. They have to make a commitment, Brent, to see if they can run this football against USC.
Lucky back in at running back. Terrence Nunn, Matt Harrion, Nate Swift. Those would be his best weapons on the outside. And here is Lucky, and absolutely no hole. That was simply jammed up by the middle. And Lisa, what's the early report on the young running back?
Well, Brent, I just talked to USC officials, and they told me that they believe that Ryan Powdrell dislocated his ankle. Now, right now, they're taking him up to the locker room. I asked them, is he going to the hospital? Is he getting x-rays? They say right now they're just going to look at him in the locker room. Now, I asked Ryan as he was being carted off, I said, are you okay, big man? He said, I'm all right. But he had that look of shock in his eye, and it was a gruesome injury, Brent.
Yes, it was. 3rd down and 8. Throw in underneath now to Brandon Jackson, and he's short of the first down marker. So here early, USC and Nebraska and the two defenses have come up with big plays. That was Lawrence Jackson, their #1 defensive end, number 96.
And Brent, you see the speed of this USC defense. Lawrence Jackson right there, the defensive end, making the play on the screen.
Here's Titchener to punt again. And Desmond Reed standing back deep. The fake, got it in midfield to the 35-yard line. Big Red loves that as Todd Peterson makes the catch.
Yeah, what I like here is Titchener actually hobbles the ball, almost making it look like he loses control of it. And maybe he did, but I know this is a design play, and Peterson gets downfield. This is one of their better receivers, makes a nice catch. What a throw by the punter.
And if you're going to come into this stadium and upset a team like USC, you need a play like that early in this football game.
Gutsy call by Bill Callahan early in the game.
28 yards on the play. Kenny Wilson back in as the Nebraska running back. On first down, they stick with the running call. To the 21-yard line, and Moala.
Early in this football game, you feel it's critical, though, for Nebraska to take advantage of this field position and get a touchdown out of this drive.
Okay, Bill Callahan probably take points at this point. Obviously, a touchdown would be great. They catch a break here. They've been working the field position. Coach, as you said, now it's time to try to capitalize.
Take the handoff, and it's blocked. Terrific penetration. There's Kevin Ellison. He was slowed this week in practice with that knee injury, number 4, but watch him come in and deflect it.
And that's the strong safety coming on the strong safety blitz right there.
Pete Carroll loves to bring his secondary linebackers. He wants to put pressure on the quarterback.
3rd down and 8. Incomplete. Overthrew France Hardy, number 7. That was a one-time teammate of the quarterback's, junior college.
It's amazing when you look at this USC defense. 6 starters back from last year, but 3 of those starters hurt. You know, you always think of USC reloading on offense. They reload on defense as well. There's a lot of speed, Kirk, on that field.
Jordan Congdon to attempt the field goal here. It'll be a 38-yarder to put Nebraska ahead. Got it. The 3 touchdown underdogs from Lincoln, Nebraska strike first in the Los Angeles Coliseum. So far, we would say that Pete Carroll's Trojans have looked out of sync. As a result, they're down by a field goal. Congdon, who nailed the field goal, will kick it off. Harris and McFoy back deep for the Trojans. Big hop in the end zone. Got a hustle, and he's short of the 20. Kerry Harris. There's that flanker screen. There's Jarrett. Diving toward that first down marker. Dwayne Jarrett, 6'5", 215 pounds, on everybody's preseason All-America team.
Anytime you throw wide receiver screens behind the line of scrimmage, you need blocks. And that's an excellent job by Chris McFoy blocking downfield.
McFoy.
Boom, that's a great lick, Kirk.
Yep, very, very nice. And it's good to see. And that's something that receivers always get so much credit for making a big play. But you know, Lane Kiffin and Steve Sarkisian work hard in having them block downfield to help each other out for big plays.
Jarrett against Andre Jones that time. The corner, John David. Good bootleg thrower. On the money to Smith. Slips a tackle and is pushed out of bounds by the middle linebacker, McEwen.
And Steve Smith, a 3-year starter, runs great routes. But John David Booty, Brent, you mentioned it. Excellent job of throwing on the run. He runs a little corner route right here. Really tough to defend USC's play-action passes that come on running downs, Kirk.
And Andre Jones that time, who talked about beating USC, was turning left and turning right. He didn't know which way Steve Smith was going.
Washington, the running back. Fumble picked up by the Trojans. Washington saved it and made a first down out of it.
The front again from Nebraska is able to get pressure. This time they bring a linebacker, Stuart Bradley, number 34. He gets in, strips the ball loose, and once the ball's on the ground, how about Chauncey Washington? Not only pouncing on the ball, showing some athletic ability, obviously, for a tailback, he picks up a first.
Great story to see Chauncey. Missed a couple of years because of academics, hung in. Junior now, battling a hamstring injury from the spring. Number 23. First down and 10, and the Trojans mounting their second drive of the game. John David looking to attack the corner, and it was deflected incomplete. Second down and 10.
And you really have to respect John David Booty staying in this program. You know, in kind of an era of instant gratification, he sits here for really 4 years. Yep. Can you imagine when Matt Leinart got up to that podium and said, I'm coming back for my senior year? What went through John David Booty's mind? But, Brent, we met with him yesterday. What a great young man.
He is that, Bob. Just a pleasure to talk to him and listen to the story of the Booties from Louisiana. His brother, who played Major League Baseball and NFL football, now lives in Irvine down the road. He's here with us tonight. Short drop, putting it up again. Here's Jarrett. Jarrett very active. So we have to talk about Lane Kiffin, the offensive coordinator, who after last week's 35-yard performance said, we didn't bring him all the way from New Jersey to catch 7 passes for 35 yards. As you look at Lane over there, closest to the wall, calling the plays down.
Well, they challenged the All-American because he's had a quad that bothered him. They didn't think he competed against Arkansas in the opening game. He had a few catches, but he didn't compete and play up to his level because teams are going to come after him and get physical. They want to see Dwayne Jarrett get right back into the face of the defenders. They didn't see that in week 1.
43 yards tonight. He's already surpassed the opener and pounding in there with Emmanuel Moody. There was more to that quote, and one thing we found out about young Lane Kiffin, who just turned 31 years old, he speaks up, folks, and there is exactly what we've been talking about. And guys like Reggie Bush, he said, showed up every day in practice. So they were trying to light a fire under Dwayne Jarrett.
And not only Dwayne Jarrett, but Lane Kiffin made this statement in front of all the receivers in the offense, Brent. That sends out a tremendous message when you have an offensive coordinator get up and call the star player out for a poor performance.
Taking a blow. Handing off to Washington. Somewhat jokingly, but on a serious side, I said when I looked at their receivers, this is a better group of receivers than the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, I mean that. I mean, those guys in the NFL are really experienced. I mean, but you take a look at this, Kirk, at this entire package of wide receivers recruited by USC. And we've got 5 or 6 guys that are going to play Sunday football.
Well, Dwayne Jarrett, of course, Steve Smith, Patrick Turner, who has a chance to come on and be a valuable commodity this year. Then you start to get to that next level of receivers. Hazelton, a freshman, Osbury. But Nebraska's defense, again, hanging in there, forcing another 3rd down.
Moody is the running back. He gets the call. Great speed burst for the 1st down. Tier Green, the strong safety, up on the stop.
And Emmanuel Moody, one that got away from Matt Brown, a young guy that committed to Texas, then came out and visited USC. They say this guy right here will be a superstar at the tailback position for SC.
You bring in C.J. Gable and Emmanuel Moody. I said, how do you separate the two when it comes to physical ability? They said C.J. Gable's kind of like a Cadillac Williams from Auburn. Emmanuel Moody would be the Reggie Bush. It's pretty good recruiting when you can bring in those caliber of players.
See if the Trojans can score on the last play of the opening quarter. John David's going to try. Touchdown, Jarrett. As the first quarter comes to an end, John David Booty, the junior from Shreveport, Louisiana, sticks it into the end zone and into the hands of his All-American weapon, who tonight has had a better first quarter than he had an entire game against Arkansas.
Brent, that time he beat the junior college transfer Andre Jones, who again commented about when they beat USC.
Danilo tacks on the extra point.
And Andre Jones, you are not at Fresno City Junior College anymore. And wow.
And Saturday Night Football, presented by Southwest Airlines, returns after this message and a word from our ABC station. So the Trojans settle down and move 83 yards in 9 plays. Took 3:23. Scoring on the last play of the opening quarter to lead at 7-3. Troy Van Blarkham drilling his second one, this time out of the end zone. It'll come on to the 20. Sunny Southern California, 7-3. Trojans lead it. And wouldn't Pete Carroll love to have Ronnie Lott in his defensive backfield on this 3rd and 2. Nebraska's 0 for 4 on 3rd down starting this game. Going to throw for it. Can't find an open receiver. and got it at the 40-yard line for the first down. Number 83, the junior from Houston, Terrence Nunn. He's made their two biggest plays of the evening. That catch for their first third down conversion and that punt return earlier.
Outstanding patience here by the quarterback, Zac Taylor. Defense started to come to him, but I think the great thing here is the fact that Terrence Nunn read his quarterback's eyes, came off of coverage, and got back into position where he can read the quarterback and say, hey, let's move it back to the inside. Good adjustment and a nice throw.
They come with Wilson as the running back. Moala and Dallas Sartz in on the stop. Mayava was also there. They use about 8 linebackers a game, and there's Kaluka Mayava. And they've just got a ton of them when you look down there on the field. Mawaluga, Ken Norton, their coach. He was pretty good himself now, folks. Ken Norton Jr. was. Second down and 10. Drops it off. Lucky for the first down.
I think you see one of the trademarks right there of the West Coast offense. First of all, he gets great protection, but then he goes to the little check down. Marvin Lucky sneaking out of the backfield. That's really a signature play in the West Coast offense. Quarterback doesn't take a sack.
Signature play, but you need time to be able to look downfield that long and then to be able to check down. So that was a nice job by the Nebraska offensive line, giving Taylor enough time to find his check down.
Here is Lucky and very conservative in that situation. They've thrown for only 26 yards so far here tonight. Lawrence Jackson with a stop. Here USC leads Nebraska 7-3. Second and 20. Sacked. Ball comes out. I believe they're going to bring it back. I believe the referee is whistling the return down. They're saying that he was sacked and the ball was down at about the 44-yard line. You're going to come all the way back to the referee. Lost 11 yards on that sack. Thomas Williams gets in on him, and take a listen. He was scooped up by Chris Barrett. Got himself a little exercise on the play.
Great confusion that time by Pete Carroll, bringing a blitz. Two linebackers breaking from the same side. Brent, you said Thomas Williams, 41, who made the play. I think Dallas Sartz had as much to do with setting that up by occupying the fullback.
Yeah, I agree. On third down now, they set a screen, deflected incomplete. So a promising drive comes up empty. Lawrence Jackson, number 96, the junior from Inglewood, California, who grew up with Daganduro of Nebraska, deflects this one.
This offense of Nebraska had a chance. They got all the way inside the 40-yard line, and a holding call slows the momentum and slows them down. And as soon as you get behind schedule on down and distance against USC, they're just too creative to put pressure on a quarterback when they know you have to throw.
Titchener punted again. Reed back deep for the Trojans. Waving everybody away. Not a particularly good punt. Down at the 29-yard line. So we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll take another look at John David Booty, the Trojans' new quarterback star. Bob Davey, do you think that Pete Carroll will ever go back to the National Football League?
I don't think so. And I'll tell you what, when you go out and watch them practice, it looks like he's still in the NFL.
You got that right.
Isn't it interesting, though, how you go around the country, different philosophies? Pete Carroll open practices. You go out there and there's a bunch of people, a bunch of Hollywood stars. You might even see Will Ferrell, Snoop Dogg at practice.
There's no chance he's going back to the NFL. Total control of this scene at USC.
First down and 10. And a first down throwing as he hits Chris McFoy for his second, the senior from Chino. McEwen, let me play devil's advocate. Suppose that the NFL eventually gets around to solving what might be their greatest problem, getting a franchise back in Los Angeles. Would he be interested then, Kirk?
See, I don't think it's about trying to be competitive and win at the highest level. He's been there. He's done that. I think it's about having a chance to control this program, and I think he's happy. I think there's a lot to be said for being happy, and right now he's the happiest he's been in his entire coaching career.
Play fake by John David Booty. Going, got Smith open. Oh, he overthrew him by a hair. That was 6, folks. Written all over it.
What happens with USC is they'll lull you to sleep. John David Booty is as accurate a quarterback as you're going to see, and he had an opportunity by rolling him. You notice they move him around a lot, and when you move him, it allows the receiver to give you a double move. That time, Steve Smith, just a little stop and go, and that hesitation was enough to get right by the Nebraska secondary.
Bob, you're a former defensive coordinator and a good one. What are they doing back there in the secondary to help these corners?
Well, first thing, Courtney Grigsby, the corner, better retape his ankles. But you better get a safety over the top and help, because there's no chance of covering one-on-one Nebraska's corners with these wide receivers of USC.
Now they come back with a screen play. And Reed, who has been returning punts, is the running back. He saw a little action at I-back against Arkansas. That shows you how deep this team is.
Play that gets them in a position now to try to execute on third down. And I'm looking forward to seeing the development of John David Booty, not only tonight, but throughout this whole night. I know Marcus Allen on the left and Ronnie Lott on the right, looking over former All-Americans, former greats in the NFL, always supporting their Trojans.
Backfield's empty. 3rd and 11. John David's going to put it up. Firing complete. And Jarrett, his 5th catch of the night. Octavian, the linebacker, hanging on.
You almost get the feeling with Pete Carroll, this is 4-down territory, because used 2 plays here to pick up the 10 yards. They picked up about 8 yards to set up now 4th and 2, and there's no hesitation. They're going for it.
And what hurts, Ryan Pudrell, the 255-pound fullback, out of the game, obviously, with that injury early.
27 power quad was the famous 4th and 2 that was stopped by Texas, but they empty the backfield. This will not be that play. They're going to throw for it. Smith's got it. So all of the options that Lane Kiffin dreams about that he might have called that night. And we have a penalty flag on this. That play has been second-guessed over and over and over again. When Lindale White went for it, Huff sold out for the Longhorn defense, and the rest is history. The face mask, so tack on to that gain.
Personal foul, face mask, 15 yards on the defense, number 25, first down.
Another tough play for Andre Jones. But they went empty backfield. 4th and 2, good block downfield by Dale Thompson. Looks like an easy play, but it comes down to accuracy from John David Booty. And you can see Pete Carroll. That's a first down, and he wants more. He saw that face mask.
How about scheme, though? Trying to defend USC with talented players and a great scheme. Empty, no backs on 4th and 2.
Yep. Ball has to be right on the money. Booty put it right there.
Washington's his running back. It's inside the 15. Firing overthrew Jarrett. If you look at the yardage, USC with 174 yards on the night, Nebraska with 83. And our Pacific Life game summary, and Coach, fairly one-sided here.
No question. And you get the feeling that the dam is about ready to break when you watch USC, because they can throw the football really at will on the corners of Nebraska.
Let's see if they try to pick on one of them again. Rolling to the right, throws in underneath. And that play was well defended as Fred Davis, the tight end, with his first reception, and Stuart Bradley, the linebacker, is there.
Fred Davis, a former wide receiver, who I thought they might try to get the football to a little bit earlier, because he's as a former receiver, he's grown into becoming a tight end. They feel that he could eventually be a first-round pick in the NFL. He has that kind of talent, has become a more physical player.
When you take a look at the personnel, Kirk, defensively, Zachary Bowman gone for Nebraska, out for the season. Isaiah Fluellen, Courtney Grigsby, 5'9", and Andre Jones popping off. You had to feel, though, that they were going to attack at the corners, and they're doing just that. Rush 4, steps up, got it for a first down. Man, what a throw by John David to Jarrett. You called it, Coach.
Well, the most important position in football may be the quarterback, but the second most important, Brent, is cornerback. And if you don't have corners, there's not much you can do.
Nebraska bringing their safeties up on 3rd and long, leaving their corners on an island. Shanley on one side, Green on the other, walking up into the line of scrimmage, and then they didn't even blitz. And to leave Grigsby by himself against one of the best receivers in college football, critical mistake by Nebraska's defense.
But do you see why they pay those cornerbacks so much in the NFL?
Yeah.
You have to have them.
Going to throw for it. Got it. Touchdown, USC. That is Steve Smith, who's a fine route runner. John David Booty saying he probably runs the best routes of anybody on the team.
When you've got a great route runner who's experienced, and you have a young quarterback who they say is naturally just a very accurate thrower, you drop back to throw. That was a tight window, but he put it right in there after the nice move by Steve Smith.
It doesn't look like it's only John David Booty's second start ever in major college football, does it?
He looks very confident.
Danilo tacks on the extra point. 14-3. Nebraska struck first, if you joined us a little late, with a field goal. And then the Trojans responded with 2 touchdowns. John David Booty, 2 more touchdown passes, was 14 of 18. Let's go down with Coach Carroll. He's with Lisa Salters. Lisa?
Thanks, Brent. Coach, that last touchdown drive, 3rd and 20 deep in their territory. Dwayne Jarrett came up with a big reception. What was the key to that play?
I think John David believing in Dwayne Jarrett. You know, he's a great football player. If we give him a chance, he'll make plays. John did that.
Now, early on, you guys got off to a slow start. How was the team affected by that horrible injury to Ryan Paldrell, especially early on?
Well, we'll be okay. You know, his ankle came back in, lined up a little bit, so we'll be okay, but it was pretty nasty. We'll be all right about it.
All right. Thanks. Good luck in the second half. Brent?
Lisa, thank you very much. So it's 14-3, and let us send it now to New York. We join John Saunders, Craig James, and Doug Flutie. Take it away, John. The sun setting on Malibu, and Nebraska hopes it's not setting on them also. 14-3 here at the half. USC scoring on 2 of its 4 possessions of the first half. You know, folks, when your punter has more yards passing than your quarterback and you're running a West Coast offense, you got big trouble. Kirk, what is Nebraska going to do to shake loose here?
Well, I think Bill Callahan came into this game calling plays to try to run the football to slow down Pete Carroll's defense. The problem is they're not attacking enough by throwing the football.
And on the other side,
and you look at USC's plan as we look at the playbook, isolate the corners, in particular number 25, Andre Jones. Here they get him matched up on Dwayne Jarrett, little skinny post route. That's stealing right now, Kirk.
Well, whether it's Dwayne Jarrett getting a chance here against Andre Jones, that's like going against air, or it's Steve Smith. The USC wide receivers, you get the feeling, are on the verge of some big plays when they get the one-on-one chance.
USC with the first possession here in the second half, and here comes Harris. Well short of the 20-yard line. Good coverage by Nebraska. John David Booty with his family in. Washington's his running back. Mom and Dad traveling from Louisiana. Incomplete, and that would have been a big score for Courtney Grigsby.
That play right there could have completely changed the complexion of the football game. We're talking a lot of negativity about Nebraska and why they're not able to have more points on the board, down 14-3. Right there, if Grigsby gets his hands up and he secures the ball. He walks to the end zone, late throw in the flat, and I don't even think John David Booty saw Grigsby.
When you're 5'9". Second down and 15. Deflected again.
Really a sluggish-looking USC offense to me compared to what they looked like in Fayetteville. Amazing how they went into Fayetteville, Arkansas 2 weeks ago, the first game in hostile territory, had no illegal formations, no delay of games, maybe the 2-week off. You know, this team hasn't played, they've only played one game, and that was 2 weeks ago, but they're sluggish right now.
3rd and 15. From the end zone, Booty on the move, fires, and broken up again. And that time it was Andre Jones, his best play of the night. It is 4th and 15, and look what we've got here.
Well,
a fine stand.
Let's give Andre Jones some love. We've been beating him up all night. This time he read it, got a great jump on the ball, and almost stepped in front of it for almost another interception here. 2 of the 3 throws almost picked off for a touchdown going the other way.
Yeah, you have to give Andre Jones credit for bouncing back.
Next punt, Terrence Nunn. Driven back to the 44, fumble. Nebraska pounces on the loose football, and that was close to being a violation too.
Again, no halo rule in college football anymore. As long as you give him the opportunity to catch it, I'm talking about the punt returner, he's fair game.
Green saves the day. Yes, there is a Coliseum much older than this one. There's the stone that came all the way from the Roman Coliseum where the real gladiators hung out in ancient times. This, of course, 1932, hosting the Olympics, and again in 84. As you look down on the scene, made it a little more intimate through the years. First down and 10. Nebraska had 19 running plays and only 9 passing plays in that first half. Fumble! And USC got it. Marlon Lucky turns it over.
One of the problems when you alternate a lot of tailbacks in the football game is just the mechanics on the simple things between the quarterback and the tailback, and just a self-inflicted mistake right there as Marlon Lucky puts that football on the ground.
Taylor put the ball in. Lucky just didn't have a chance to secure it. And an opportunistic USC defense pounces on it. Gives their offense great field position. Pete Carroll high-fiving, smiling.
He has fun, doesn't he?
It's genuine.
Running around, throwing the football.
Sure.
You thought he was a backup quarterback the other day. First down and 10. Play fake. Throw in underneath to Reed, the running back. Reed has been used in third down situations. He's a good receiver. There is a flag.
Roughing the passer on the defense, number 94. Illegal helmet contact. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Barry Cryer guilty, and we've had helmet to helmet for 3 straight weeks.
This one, I think it's just a late hit. Referee standing right behind John David Booty, and as soon as he threw it, Cryer unloaded on him, and that's where they're going to tag on the personal foul.
And USC, I think with a huge talent difference, Nebraska making it even worse right now by self-destructing here with the fumble and the hit.
Well, plus they missed 2 interceptions. It could have been returned for touchdowns. Then they fumbled the ball, and you don't want to give USC life.
On the first down, short drop, put it in the hands of Jarrett, who's inside the 10-yard line. Jones making the play defensively with Grigsby.
And you go back, Brent, you made the point about Pete Carroll high-fiving, jumping around, having fun. Go back to that question, would he go back to the NFL? I really think his personality is more suited for college football.
There's no doubt. Maybe he'll fool us and next year be in the NFL, but you get every indication that he is happy at USC. He's happy with the college lifestyle of being around 18 to 22-year-old men. And he's just having fun. Genuine fun guy.
Washington searches for daylight. This will bring up a third down.
You know, when I say genuine, there's some guys that try to act like they're having fun. You know, boy, isn't this a great time, guys? But you guys saw him at practice. That's just how he is every day.
I'll tell you one thing he's not having fun with. Agents competing for his talent.
No. That's why you talked about those open practices, how they let a lot of people in. I would not be surprised to see that tightened up a little bit in the near future.
3rd and 3. Showing pressure. Firing against a touchdown, Jarrett. Dwayne Jarrett's 2nd touchdown pass of the night. Catch, I should say, as Booty has thrown 3. 2 to Jarrett and 1 to Smith, and Pops enjoyed it.
And that time they picked on Courtney Grigsby, the other corner, but go back to Martin Lucky. The fumble on the simple handoff provided tremendous field position.
A deflating turn of events for the Cornhuskers. They bottle the Trojans up, save a fumbled punt, and then give it up. And John David Booty marches in, his 3rd touchdown pass of the evening. And his father, who came all the way from Louisiana, enjoys what he's watching here tonight. There's a toss to Wilson, slips the first tackle, and bangs his way across the 30-yard line. And Keith Rivers wearing that famous number 55 here. You just say number, a lot of awfully good linebackers through the years have worn number 55 here. Mark of distinction for a linebacker at SC. 2nd down and 4. Off the draw play. This will be 3rd down.
Really the foundation, when you talk to Pete Carroll, this USC team, it's all about the ball. Protecting the ball on offense, forcing turnovers on defense. They were #1 in the nation last year in turnover margin. They forced 5 turnovers against Arkansas, 1 tonight, and they've not turned the football over all season. They do a tremendous job forcing turnovers.
Inside shuffle, got a 1st down out of it. Breaking free is Jackson. Nice call. "23 yards.
You're going to see the little shuffle pass. He gets a great block from the left guard, Greg Austin, right here. Right there in the hole on the linebacker, Malaluga. Excellent call right there against an up-the-field defense on 3rd down.
Finally a chance to see Brandon Jackson in the open field. You can really see a burst there from Jackson.
Wilson. As you look down at our scene with Nebraska trying to finish one off, our aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear Tires, featuring silent armor technology. 90,000 plus, folks. Saturday night in LA.
You know, there's some great stadiums around this country. Some are newer, some are flashier, Brent, but this one may have the most tradition right here.
Got a lot of echoes around here. Wilson. This will leave them with a 3rd down as Ray Mavaluga, number 58. Remember the name and the number, folks. First start tonight, only a sophomore. He's going to be a dent.
Who would have thought we'd be midway through the 3rd quarter? Zac Taylor would attempt 9 passes on the evening. 9 pass attempts for Zac Taylor. Bill Callahan determined to run the football with this offensive line.
It's almost like he wants to run the clock down, Bob Davis.
I'll tell you what, if they run some option, It's Tom Osborne calling the plays again. It's Frank Solich, Tom Osborne.
Oh, hold on there. Mr. Osborne, now, he might have had a few points right now. 3rd down and 5. That's about to be messing with a Nebraska legend here now. Oh, I noted that he lost his last election. How could that be?
Jackson on the toss. Can't cut back. Brian Cushy, very active linebacker, along with number 58.
And I understand Bill Callahan does not want this game to get away from him, but at some point, Kirk, there is just too much speed and athleticism on that defense. Give your guys a chance. I mean, you come in here with the West Coast offense, all the hype, maybe the best quarterback in the Big 12. Let them play a little bit.
3rd and 5, if you're going to run, why get outside wide and allow the speed of USC's defense to chase you down? Now they're 4th and 9.
You're left asking yourself, which West Coast? Australia? 4th down and 9. Had a man over there. Curled at the corner. And Mamaluga broke on Purify.
Nebraska gets what they want right here. They get man-to-man isolated coverage. Terrell Thomas and Nick Holt, the defensive coordinator, back from being the head coach at Idaho. Enjoyed that one.
Now inside of 7 minutes, and the Trojans up 21-3 here with a 1st down. Washington in at running back. He's rushed for 27 yards tonight. 2nd and 10. Here's Booty firing, and a great grab by Smith. What a wonderful catch by Steve Smith.
And really a great job of coverage by Corey McKeon, the linebacker. But you said it, what a great adjustment right here by Steve Smith. Big time catch, Kirk.
All I know is when Steve Smith made a catch against Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl in a national championship game, it's one of those, did he really just make that catch? After seeing that, Steve Smith's capable of making any catch you can imagine. Great hands and great route running.
Remember, they had Big Jarrett over on the other side. A few times we've seen Jarrett drop.
We keep patting USC on the back about their offense. The fact they lost so many players. We're almost through the 3rd quarter. They have 235 yards of offense. They've not executed as well as you would think they would execute, at least as far as what I was concerned and what I thought I might see from John David Booty. This offense is not clicking. They're dropping some balls. They don't have the intensity that you'd expect to see from USC's offense. Right now, they're not happy, I'm sure, with the way they're executing on that side of the ball.
Manuel Moody, toss. Cut off. Well defended that time. Let's go down below to Lisa.
Well, Brent, just an update on USC fullback Ryan Paldrell. He was seen at halftime leaving the Coliseum with a half cast on that ankle, and I'm being told that he's been taken to a local hospital for x-rays. So that's the latest from down here, Brent.
Okay, Lisa. Thank you. It is 3rd down and 10. Threw a little bit behind the receiver that time. Patrick Turner, who has blazing speed. If they could have caught him on the cut, he could go the 4-4. He could go to the house.
And there's no question that USC, Kirk, getting back to your point, played much better the first game of the year in Fayetteville, Arkansas. That old adage about a team improves the most between the first and 2nd game, that's not holding true tonight for this USC offense.
You know, and Nebraska's defense deserves some of the credit, but I think also just poor execution by USC.
And this one is downed at the 25-yard line. And look who is on that punt team, folks. Ray Mamaluga. Coming down to the final minute of the 3rd quarter. and out of bounds at the 30-yard line. One of the questions that is being considered by the AP voters, coaches, who will be number 2? With Notre Dame losing at home big time to the Wolverines of Michigan, and have we underrated Michigan? It was a very impressive defensive performance, certainly in the first half that we watched, Kirk.
Michigan was on a mission today, and they were out to make a statement to the country, and they did that.
And we'll see how Charlie Weiss and the Irish rebound next week when we go to East Lansing for that Michigan State battle. Taylor's receivers are covered and incomplete. So here's what Kirk and Bob say at the moment. And of course, Bob may have to change again. Number 5. Go ahead.
You're exactly right. I wish we waited a little longer before we put that graphic up there. But I do think Ohio State's number 1, USC number 2. I really like Auburn sitting there at number 3.
Auburn played great defense today. I have Michigan all the way up to number 3. I was really impressed with the determination after a 7-5 year last year. Michigan came out and made a statement. Now, can they maintain that hunger throughout the remaining weeks in the college football season?
3rd and 6. Got the open receiver. And he put it in the hands of Brandon Jackson, who has shown us a little bit of zip here for a first down. 32.
Yeah, seems like when he's gotten his hands on the ball, he's had a chance to get upfield.
Really an excellent call again against the zone blitz. And anytime you blitz and play zone behind it, there's some open holes in there. Screen pass is a good play against that right there. Love to see Nebraska throw the football down the field vertically right here on 1st and 10.
Well, he's back in the shotgun. Got it. You called it, Coach. Put it into Nunn's hands. Get it downfield.
See Terrence Nunn come in motion. USC in a 3-deep zone and just a crease down the middle of that football field. And a little life right now for the Huskers.
Well, the first time we've seen them get aggressive on 1st and 10 and get the ball downfield. Protection was there, and nice throw by Zac Taylor.
Send in another play, Bob, will you?
I'm 1 for 1. I'm holding out right now.
Come on. On the play action, rolling to the right, throwing downfield, got an open man. Harrian's first catch. Harrian's inside the 5-yard line. Matt Harrian, who is one of those terrific stories, came back from a major broken leg injury, and they had to re-break it, reinsert the metal plate. That's 36 yards to the senior.
And anytime you're going to run this kind of route where the outside receiver goes down the field and clears it out, the tight end runs the corner route, it takes a lot of time, and that time a great job of protection from the Nebraska offensive line.
And a nice job of rolling him away from some of that pressure, and Taylor showing a nice arm there to get the ball over Kerry Harris.
Well, there's 1 quarter left. Can Nebraska come all the way back? We'll find out after this message and a word from our ABC stations. It's Saturday Night Football. Nebraska 1st and goal to start the 4th quarter. And stuffed is Kenny Wilson. Zac Taylor had hit his last 3 passes for 67 yards. There's a tradition here at the Coliseum. The Olympic torch is lit for the 4th quarter of USC games as you pull back and see that great sight.
This Nebraska team, one of the advantages they felt this season coming in, tight ends, particularly number 11, Matt Harrian. But they've got some tight ends that are capable of catching the football.
Banging, reaching across the goal line, no signal. knee was probably down before the ball was extended and broke the plane. Let's take a look at the replay here.
Brent, you keep talking about kind of the glory years of Nebraska football with Tom Osborne and how boy, he looks like he reached the ball across. It's a matter of if his knee touched the ground.
To me, I think the knee was down right there prior to him reaching that ball
Maybe even further
across.
back than where they spotted it. But this is Nebraska football. Big, strong offensive linemen. They're supposed to be able to pound it in there.
On 3rd and goal, banging again, and the Trojans hold. A goal line stand unfolding here. Moala, the nose man, was in the middle of it.
No decision right here for Bill Callahan. You obviously have to, you obviously have to go for it here on 4th down.
Zac's gonna hoof it. Touchdown, Nebraska. He sold it.
Great call by Bill Callahan, getting an aggressive defense to commit down to the inside. Dallas Arts comes in, the entire defense bites down, and they set that up on the play before by seeing how USC attacked and pinched in.
21-10. Greg Austin, number 65, left guard. Watch the big fella. Loses his headgear, and Zac Taylor takes it for 6. All right, John, and here now it is 21-10 as Nebraska scores its first touchdown of the night. USC and Nebraska, hard to believe, but they haven't met since 1970. Between them, these two schools have won 16 national championships and produced 10 Heisman Trophy winners. Here's Harris. Stone, short of the 20-yard line. Washington cut off, and the front 7. Bob David, would you agree that the front 7 of this Nebraska team has played very well here tonight?
No question the strength of this Nebraska team is that front 7, particularly those defensive ends, Adam Carricker, number 90, and Jay Moore, 44. Keep in mind, this Nebraska defense led the country in sacks last year with 50 and tackles for losses, primarily because of the pressure of that front 4. They're big and strong up front.
Causing John David Booty a lot more trouble than he experienced against Arkansas. 2nd and 9. Short of the first down. Smith, the receiver. And little Courtney Grigsby with the cover. Courtney Grigsby is a fine athlete. His problem, as you can well see, is that he's only 5'9". So when the big fellas get on him, and the ball's up in the air like Jarrett at 6'5", it is hard for him, but he has a ton of talent.
I think USC needs to pick up the first down here, start to go back to attacking the undersized corners of Nebraska.
Washington for the first down. Keeping the clock running now at 21-10.
I think this is what you'll see from Pete Carroll, even with an 11-point lead here in the 4th. Sure, they want to work the clock. They want to sustain a drive here. And one of the advantages they have is the quarterback throwing the football with the bigger receivers, more athletic receivers, if they can get them isolated in the matchups they want. I think they'll continue to do that, even with the 11-point lead, as they try to work clock.
They love play action on these running downs, SC.
Nebraska must have 2 scores. The veteran Washington, who's back, battling a little bit of a hamstring twinge.
The last 2 drives for USC, they had 5 plays and a punt, 3 plays and a punt, find themselves now in a ball game 21-10. And as I've said, we've talked a lot about the potential of the USC offense with John David Booty, but Pete Carroll not happy with, I'm sure, with what he has seen so far with this SC offense. This drive is very, very important for the Trojans.
Here's the freshman, Grable. Quick strike over to the side, and muscling for the first down is Chris McFoy.
And the thing that I've respected so much about USC, Kirk, is regardless of the situation, their confidence to stay aggressive with their play calling and throw the ball in any situation. You saw that with Matt Leinart. I'm not sure they have quite the confidence just yet. They're a little more conservative right now, but the great thing about this offense, it's a quick strike. Any moment they can strike.
On the first down, play fake, and John David will take it out of bounds himself to the 39-yard line.
That time Nebraska fortunate that Stuart Bradley got penetration coming from his outside linebacker position, because play action fake, trying to buy some time for Booty. He had McFoy breaking loose into the secondary about 10-15 yards behind every Nebraska defender. Bradley, good job pressuring and making Booty step up in the pocket and try to get some yardage.
Emmanuel Moody, freshman from Texas, is the I-back. The call, short. First down. And of course, the one player who is missed the most by this team is clearly number 5. They are searching, as they have searched all night, for one of these running backs to explode like Reggie Bush would so frequently do.
What you're saying, if you're the defensive coordinator, you'd rather defend these 5 different running backs than defend number 5 from last year, right?
You think maybe?
Yeah.
And it's Jarrett. Got him on a slant. Brixby's there. First down on that third down throw.
Nebraska bringing the linebackers, even with leverage to the inside. Grigsby still cannot stop Dwayne Jarrett from getting there. The linebackers coming created a huge window to the middle, and a good job by the offensive line of picking him up and giving Booty time to make the throw.
And again, come up and play some bump and run. If you're Nebraska, don't let them off the line of scrimmage unmolested, those big wide receivers.
Back goes John David again. And has to drop it off to the safety valve that time. Gable, who had just checked in the game. Jarrett with a 100-yard night. 9 catches for 108 yards and 2 touchdowns for the All-America wideout. So he bounced back after the coach said we didn't bring him all the way from New Jersey to gain only 35 yards as he did down in Arkansas.
Interesting, Pete Carroll's philosophy. You mentioned out-of-state recruits. They only go out of the state if they think a young guy has potential to someday be a first-round draft choice.
They've gone to New Jersey quite a bit.
And David Booty steps up, tackles, gave him time, and hits the big fella again. Out of bounds just shy of the first down, and Jarrett's big night continues.
Lane Kiffin made the statement that raised some eyebrows this week that John David Booty's arm was stronger than Matt Leinert's. Kirk, I think you can see that right there. He threw that on a rope.
Well, he definitely has a strong arm, but more importantly, the ball was thrown on time, perfectly to the outside, giving Jarrett a chance, and now 3rd and short for USC. I've heard a lot about that this week, about saying John David Booty's better than this about Leinart, better in this area than Leinart. I don't really agree with that kind of philosophy of pushing a guy once he leaves your program.
Got the first down and the touchdown. Chauncey Washington, the junior from Torrance, who has experienced some problems, overcome them.
Have to love the balance of this USC offense. They can run it with power. Obviously, they can throw it. Total package, Kirk.
And they finish off a drive there. Over 6 minutes, 14 plays, and 81 yards. We just said they needed that moment, that drive for this team. Without Matt Leinart, without Reggie Bush, and they got it right there.
And USC will take an 18-point lead into this timeout. 6:27 remaining. Traveler making another touchdown circle around the Coliseum here as Chauncey Washington there, number 3. What a moment. His first career rushing touchdown, and puts the Trojans up by 18 now with 6:27 to go. What a beautiful kickoff. Man, when you've got a strong leg like that.
I think that's how he prepares his young players, is they compete like no other program in the country Tuesdays and Wednesdays in practice and gets them ready for the game.
Here's Wilson. Nothing there, and second down and 8. Zac has to drop it off the side. Can he get picked off? No. Corey Harris for a moment. It looked like Carey might grab it.
You know, we were talking to Pete Carroll, and I told him SC to me now looks like a Southeastern Conference defense. You know, you picture those LSU Auburn teams with all that team speed. They have become that kind of team on defense with all the speed they've recruited. It's kind of been an evolution over the last couple of years, Kirk.
And I think when you combine the speed and athletic ability with his schemes, I think it's a pretty sophisticated defense, and it confuses the offense on a regular basis. They set the standard in college football, usually year in and year out.
Receivers covered, so again drop, and a drop pass by Brandon Jackson. There is a story that we haven't touched on, Bob, that is kind of interesting regarding Nebraska. Next year you would figure that Sam Keller, who transferred from Arizona State, would probably wind up being the starting quarterback for Bill Callahan. He lost Harrison Beck, who transferred out. I think somebody told me he went to one of the Carolina schools today. I can't remember. Kirk, maybe you know. But Sam Keller was in that battle with Carpenter down in Tempe, and he played the part of John David Booty this week, ran the scout team. So we got a fair catch, and so we're going to take a break. 5:18 to go, 28-10 USC. So we've got 5 minutes to go, and John David Booty throws it and caught. So Snoop. This is first in the bunch. Moody trying to get some back, stays inbounds, works on the clock, and makes it very manageable. What a fine run. Now, reminder, those of you who are waiting for your late local news immediately after this game over most of these ABC stations, except out here on the West Coast, of course. It's only 8:15, but then over on ESPN, they give you a full recap of the day and check in on the Mets as they go for the clinch. And we brought it back to 2nd and 4 after that 26-yard run, and Emmanuel Moody is the one the coaches really have a little feel for. I think you could see it on those last 2 carries. Banging hits Gable, the other freshman. Now the reach across for the...
You talked about SC now going on the road to Arizona. We look down the rest of their schedule. Very legitimate shot of probably being favored in, if not every game, just about every game that they play. For Nebraska, back to the drawing board. They need to regroup and realize it's a non-conference game. There's still a lot to achieve for this year for Bill Callahan.
I think they will be favored because of the point you made. Their toughest games are here in the Coliseum. They take that turn, conference play begins. They go on the road to Arizona, Washington State, Oregon State, Stanford. Only question would be UCLA out at the Rose Bowl. You might have to hold. I don't know what kind of a year. What are the Bruins going to do?
Tommy Tuberville told me he played Washington State, and he told me this week he was really impressed with the athleticism of Washington State. And just because it's a game away from the Coliseum, that one stands out to me more so than they'll go right through UCLA. UCLA, no problem for SC.
Ooh, wow.
No problem.
Gable. So it'll be 3rd down at about 5. And let's check in on our Chevrolet players of the game. So Bill Bonnell, our producer, gave us Corey, McEwen, the fine middle linebacker, 9 tackles, good going there. And Derek Mobley gave us Dwayne Jarrett. He's our director. That's good picks down there in the truck, guys. That's well done. 11 catches for 136 yards, and a nice job by our entire crew. Our cameramen now, who have carried on for us, and our technical directors and everybody, just done a fine job again. Bringing down the clock now. Going to get out of here and be 2-0, and that's Emmanuel Moody. But the player of the game would be wide receiver Dwayne Jarrett, the junior from New Brunswick, New Jersey. 6'5", 215.
What I love is last week he got challenged by his position coach Lane Kiffin because he didn't compete against Arkansas, and he came back tonight to show early in this game he was ready to go.
And you knew it was coming. Nebraska with injuries to Zach Bowman. Their best corner in training camp. That was the weakness of Nebraska's football team coming in.
Banging straight ahead is Moody.
The frightening thing for opponents of USC. USC comes in a little bit banged up. They had some injuries coming into this game, and they're young. They're only going to get better now.
It's a big night for John David Booty, his first career start in the Coliseum. Gets this one behind him, can learn from some things tonight and move forward.
The Trojans win it. An 18-point margin, and quarterback's mom and dad here. They flew in from Louisiana to watch this. And the number 4 ranked Trojans, and won't that vote be interesting between USC and Auburn? Auburn with that tough win over LSU. LSU challenging on the last play of the game was stopped inside the 5-yard line. So the big question is, who will the voters move to number 2 with Notre Dame toppling? And meanwhile, Pete Carroll and the Trojans get ready for Pac-10 play. They're the favorite to win it. And Carroll and the Trojans are taking dead aim at another title. And again, our final score, USC 28, Nebraska 10. And a reminder, join us next week for Saturday Night Football on ABC. Most of you will see Notre Dame versus Michigan State. Others will see USC versus Arizona, all at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC. So Dwayne Jarrett with a huge night. 11 catches, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns. For him, it was the thrill of it.